Have you ever watched Lord of the Rings and thought, damn, I would like to be a Hobbit? Just not worrying about things like the One Ring of Power, Saruman, the end of the world, taxes. Well, at Shiretown Shindig, you can live all of your Hobbit dreams. Just spend a weekend dancing and eating and napping and just having a good time with your friends. Shiretown Shindig, the event which I'm going to be speaking about today, is a LARP, which stands for Live Action Roleplay. It's kind of like live action D&D. Kind of. This LARP was in September of 2021, but I've been busy with moving and work and other things, so here I am in January of 2022 finally filming this video. Also, I think the word Hobbit is copywritten or something. That's why like D&D and LARPs often use halfling. I'm gonna use both of them interchangeably, but I do mean halfling. Anyway, this video will be in two parts. Part one, I will gush about my experience, and then part two will be the practicals. So if you're interested in pricing and housing and food and costuming logistics, etc., please skip to this timestamp. So I didn't film at this LARP. Why? Mainly because I didn't want to break people's immersion, and I didn't want to worry about filming someone without their consent, and while I didn't want to break my immersion, because I needed a weekend off from being a human. I will one day figure out how to film a LARP experience like this respectively, but for now, please enjoy some of these photos that people took during the game and like the very few footage I did get. This game was run by Ye Old Commons, aka YOC, a LARPing area in Charlton, Massachusetts. It was based on another game called Hobbit's Hoedown by Desany Vanorge. Oh god, I'm sorry, I even googled how to pronounce your name, but I'm having a hard time. But Desany originally ran this game in Australia and worked really closely with the YOC team to kind of bring the spirit of that game to Shiretown Shindig. She put a lot of work and dedication into creating this amazing game, so please follow her on Instagram. I will put all her information down below. The roleplay director is Dan Comstock, who also ran a game called Goat LARP, which was a LARP for goats, which I really want to go to, so hopefully he'll run it again soon. Let's recap on the premise. Every year, 6 lively halfling families reunite during the transition from summer to autumn. This has been a long-loved tradition for generations, as they celebrate the turning of the seasons, health of family and friends, and the glory of bragging rights for their family, and all around showcasing the best of all halflings. And then let me tell you, boy, this LARP delivered! So I've been trying to capture the point of this LARP, like the feelings that it left me with. So, life can be stressful, right? And LARP can also be stressful. Oftentimes there are hierarchies at established games, and there's also like a sense of FOMO present for like missing cool mods or cool moments. You have to work hard to be seen by the people around you, because the more you're seen, the more fun you'll have. Also, there's in-world stresses as well. You can be walking down a dark path and get attacked by some kind of monster, or have really intense RP with your friends. And these are great, don't get me wrong, really fun, and I think are a great way to like bring out those hard to express emotions left over by real life. But I guess to put it simply, I am as busy at LARP as I am in real life, just a different type of busy. Shiretown Shindig left all of that behind, because we are hobbits. There are no hierarchies in hobbit culture. There are no pressing matters. There are no villains about to jump out and attack you. There's no pressure at being the best, because the best thing you can possibly do at this LARP is relax. Importance is placed on being nice to each other, about enjoying food and company and naps. My friend took like 3 naps throughout this weekend and said that he enjoyed the LARP to its full potential. I joked that my character was one of the most stressed hobbits there, and I was way less stressed than I am at any given moment just in general. The feeling of community and acceptance and freedom to just be a simple hobbit was present throughout the game, and it was really sweet. I think that a lot of people there really needed it. I know that I sure did. Friday started with dinner and a workshop run by the RP director. I've never been to a LARP RP workshop, but it really did make jumping into the game really easy and fun. During the workshop, everybody met up with their families to discuss connections, family traditions, etc. But let me tell you, my family, the Talos, were scheming even way before the workshop began. And yes, in danger of offending all of you Hickobees, Bluffwaters, Fair Meadows, Blue Bottles, and Gertie Books, I have to say that us Talos, we're the absolute best.
3, 2, 1!
One of my favorite parts of this LARP was the family dynamics and the color schemes. You can super obviously tell who is from which family and immediately have something to jump off of for RP. For example, if you're looking for a craft, find a blue bottle. Or performance and entertainment, find a Gertie Buck. And Higglebees, well, you can never trust a Higgleby. As we're waiting for the game to start, you can just find other people wearing your colors and immediately know that they were family members. I'm not going to go through the full game step by step, but I do want to highlight some of the key moments or RP threads that I think really encompass the experience for me. I need to point out that most of these were player-led. The game really put an emphasis on players thinking and organizing themselves, and this was not a problem because everybody was very creative and just ready to have a good time. 1, the family traditions. During the RP workshop, we were asked to come up with some traditions. The Higglebees wrote a song called Old Chungus Among Us, which they sang together on Saturday morning. They then proceeded to roll a wheel down the hill, and then they themselves rolled down the hill. Us Talos also had a family tradition, which led to some very funny RP moments. But, as the saying goes, my lips are sealed as tight as the knee pocket, and I shall not be saying anything more. 2, family rivalries. There are many fun rivalries between the families, but one of my favorites was between the Talos and the Gertie Bucks. Me and my siblings owned an apple orchard in-game, and one of the Gertie Buck families also did. And this created a rivalry between the two orchards. The Gertie Bucks would claim that their apples were best, which was a slander to Talo apples. This apparently has been going on for years, and nobody can make up their mind which orchard is best. Throughout the day, we would turn our noses up at each other when walking by, or giving each other snide comments. Some blue bottle, I believe, left a calligraphy cassette out for people to use, and we used it to its full potential. We ended up passing back and forth passive-aggressive notes. You know, many hobbits claimed that the best cider they've ever had was a mix of Gertie Buck and tallow cider. How dare! 3, tug-of-war, rope, or tug-of-war. I can't remember which one that is. Anyway, Saturday there was a tug-of-war game between the families. First came the Talos versus the Higglebees. And as the old saying goes, a Tallow never wins when a Higglebee's in the room. So we lost. Well, I mean, we let them win. But after this, one of our members, good old Norbert, exclaimed that the Talos would like to challenge the Fair Meadows. Now, there were maybe 5 Fair Meadows and 10 of us Talos. The competition was fierce. We all gave one mighty tug, and then all suddenly fell forward in defeat as the Fair Meadows won. For the rest of the day, we claimed that we let the Higglebees win, but boy, those Fair Meadows were strong. 4, the show. Some Gertie Bucks and members of the in-game circus got permission from the organizers to do a fire show Saturday night. The halflings were juggling fire, spinning fire chains and fire rods. It was crazy. I had this moment where I was sitting on a picnic blanket with my 2 halfling siblings under a starry sky, eating blueberry pie that another Hobbit gave us, and listening to beautiful music while watching this amazing show. These are the type of moments that just mean a lot to me. There are a million other things that I can highlight. The band Troll 2 playing as many hobbits danced, the lore surrounding my family's haunted orchard, my little sister running off to join the circus, these huge bubbles that the Fair Meadows brought to share with people, the tea we had under the pavilion in the rain, and all the delicious food and drinks that everyone brought to share. It was truly a magical experience. The practicals, and I'm going to read from my script here, so ignore that. First is housing. You can rent a tent space, a private tent, a cabin, or bring your own tent, and there are different pricing options for each. If you bring your own tent and it's not in decorum, you have to set it up away from the game as not to break people's immersion. Me and my friends bought our own indecorum tent and decorated it. I might add, it was very cute. There are showers and bathrooms available in the tavern, which were upkept pretty well. I do wish they had another set of bathrooms outside the tavern because I felt very out of immersion when I was trying to go brush my teeth out of makeup and I was walking through the tavern, but these were definitely not that bad. Your ticket includes dinner on Friday and breakfast, lunch, and dinner on Saturday. There were also organized times in the day for second breakfast, 11cs, tea time, supper, and snacks, which were all player-led. All food had to have a list of ingredients on it. There was also room in the walk-in fridge, which you can bring your own food if needed. We ate 11 times in one day. Needless to say, food was not an issue. Drinking was allowed if you're over 21 and responsible. No one got super wasted, and I had some very yummy homemade wine and some fancy scotch someone brought to share. Safety. There is no combat in game. For COVID, we were asked to wear masks indoors when not eating. During the RP workshop, we also went in like check-in systems and opt-out systems to make sure everybody was comfortable. We also had a strict policy against darker topics and themes, which include racism, sexism, homophobia, etc. We also had the chance to make tags with pronouns, which were really nice and also helped with stress around remembering everybody's names. The organizers were also very quick to check in with people to make sure everybody feels comfortable. This was definitely an LGBTQ friendly space and a very safe space both physically and mentally. Gameplay. As mentioned before, there was no real rules outside of being immersed, being respectful, and being a good person. It was really easy to jump into roleplay and there was basically no memorization needed. Lore was very simple. Obviously, there wasn't any combat. Costuming. While some people had super intense costumes, check out my friend Laura's video on her channel about her costumes. It was really amazing. Are those homemade stays? Others just wore really simple things. Pants, a collared shirt, and a vest would go very far. As long as you were immersed, costuming could be pretty easy to put together. Check out my costuming video about my character here. Pricing. I'll put a link to Shiretown Shindig 2022 in the description. I think it might be sold out already, but tickets might open up again, who knows. A general ticket without a bed is $125. For this, you'll have to bring your own tent or get a hotel in the area. To reserve a tent bed, it's $155, and to get a private tent, it's $225. I think it's more than reasonable since it includes 4 meals, gameplay, various live performances, and a place to set up a tent for 2 nights. I'd like to give a special thanks to my families, the Talos. You guys were such a loving and creative group of people. Just everybody from my Apple siblings, Maya and Merrick, to Granny Goldie, Barrick, Evan, Norbert, Hydrangea. I can't list you guys all. You guys were great. I'd also like to thank Dan as the RP director and Desany who wrote the original game, and the YOC folks, Bart, Zach, and Natalie, who put so much time and love into organizing this amazing event. I can't wait for next year. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a comment or a like. It super helps me out. I also have a quick LARP announcement. I'm going to Starfall Academy, which is a Star Wars themed LARP in the summer. I'm very excited for that. Anyway, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.